Hello, this is Brian Sykes with another AI Explore. Today's focus is generative AI for creatives. I'm actually going to do a series on this. For 23 and a half years, I ran AdJourney, which is a small branding and marketing agency. But with the rise of generative AI and seeing the powerful implications it had for my fellow creatives, I wanted to begin entering into this space and helping others see the potential. There's a lot of scare being presented around what AI means to the creative community, but think of AI not as a threat, but as a powerful jetpack that's going to propel, amplify, speed up, and make more impactful, purposeful, enriched every single element of your creative endeavors. So, are there any branding experts out there? Any logo designers? Any graphic designers? Any creatives? You can utilize generative AI to amplify the very things that you do on a daily basis. So consider me your Mr. Miyagi. I'll be your paraclete. Paraclete's a great Greek word that means one called alongside to help. So we're going to go do a creative workflow with generative AI in the process of a brand identity development. So enjoy. Okay, we're jumping into creative workflows with generative AI, and we're focusing on brand identity. As we take on this creative process, I'm figuratively jumping in midstream, and I want to walk you through the process of how you can engage generative AI in your creative workflows without having to sit through hours of conversation with a client and watching over my shoulder. So we're going to jump through some of these things and fast track a little bits of it. The way I want to do this is we're going to work through a brand identity design by getting some information based off a client engagement I had. So a good friend of mine, Aaron Butner, was toying around with the idea of developing a side passion project. It had a lot of meaning to him personally, and it was going to be a handmade soap and candle line that he was going to call Keep Trucking. And it was born out of a place of personal hardship experienced in a very challenging childhood. So I want to take the information that was kind of gleaned in that process, and I'm going to use it to help us build the strategy around what we're doing for a logo design. So I'm literally walking you through by jumping over the mountains of information to get just the highlights and show you how we can use generative AI to fast track some of these pieces. Let's start with the name Keep Trucking. While it may sound kitsch, kitsch is something that appeals to a popular or lowbrow taste and is often of poor quality. The idea and emphasis is quite different. Aaron recalled seeing the old trucker hats that were worn by old-time Christians with motivational sayings as a kid, and it anchored his life onto those ideas of trusting in God to help him just to keep on trucking when things were difficult. And so the name was born from his personal experience and a personal faith journey. Now, I've used this interviews process that I did with Aaron as what I work with when I have interns. I like to bring them up to speed and show them how to utilize the skills that they've began refining in the college experience to then know how to utilize those things and accomplish work and be a true designer in the creative sense. I'm going to take from one of my interns the answers that he put together. And so we're building this off of Chris Doe and Anneli Hansen's core workbook structure for collecting brand attributes. I like it, it's refined, it's an easy thing, and it's something I was able to pass off to my interns to work from. So what you're seeing here is the core brand attributes. It has 6 different categories of culture, customer, voice, feel, impact, and X factor. And what you're seeing on this page are the answers that Micah Diaz had provided after watching an hour-long interview that I did with Aaron. Okay, so from this, how do I take this and do something with it? What's the next step? Well, the next thing I'm going to be interested in creating, I'm going to scroll down and show you what I'm really interested in creating is going to be this, a core direction. Now, the core direction focuses on 3 attributes. In other words, it selects from the 6 different brand attribute possibilities, 3 And from those three, it chooses one word or one phrase each. This is the answers that Micah Diaz had put together. I'm not going to put those in yet. I'm going to focus around these here, and I want to have generative AI play a part. So the way I did this is I took this information of culture. How would your customers and employees describe your company? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally pull this up and show you the walkthrough process with generative AI. Now I've already done this, so we're going to fast track this, but I started with, I have a list of 6 brand attributes under which I have several direction attributes, and I defined it. Descriptions gathered from a conversation with the owner of the brand. I will supply you with the brand attributes first, then give you the direction attributes for a particular brand being developed called Keep Trucking. Does this make sense so far? Okay, the reason I'm doing this is first we need to give generative AI a platform of engagement. We want to tell it what we're going to tell it. This is the same process you do when you're giving a speech in front of an audience or teaching a class, is you start by telling them what we're going to talk about, why it's important to know, and then we begin moving through to a place of unknown. So I want to start with, this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to give you this information, and I want to give it to you in a way that hopefully you can make use of it. So does this make sense? And it responds, yes, it makes sense. You will provide me with a list of brand attributes and then give me direction attributes for the brand Keep Trucking. This information will probably be used to develop the brand's identity, voice, positioning, and other brand-related aspects. It already knows where I'm going with this, so this is great. I'm ready to help you with this task. Please provide or proceed with providing the brand attributes. And so I follow up with, here are the 6 brand attributes that I am working with. Now, when you're a creative and you're running the show, there are things that are going to be pertinent to you. I'm working off of Christo and Anelli, their brand core structure, because this is a great thing to work with. It's a good framework. It's what I've sent my interns to chase down as far as developing their frameworks. And so this is a great structure that's already there. So here are the 6 brand attributes that I'm working with: culture, customer, voice, feel, impact, and X factor. And beside of each of those, I put the definition that goes with it. Then I tell it, now I will supply you with the direction attributes for each of these brand attributes. It says, perfect. Now what I've done is I started, number 1, culture. And you'll see it says encouraging, homey, motivating, fun. Well, where did I get that? Encouraging, homey, motivating, fun. This is what Micah Diaz had provided based off of watching the interview that I had with Aaron. Okay. And I accidentally hit return key, so it begins summarizing right away, and I told it to pause for a second, and I finished giving all the rest of information. So number 2, customer. Number 3, voice. Number 4, feel. Number 5, impact. Number 6, X factor. And beneath each of those, you see that I've got the word or words or the phrases that Micah had supplied. This is the base, okay? This is submitted to generative AI with chat-GPT, and I submit. This is what's kind of cool. Now, chat-GPT is going to tell me what it's received and show me that it understands. Thank you for providing the direction attributes for each brand attribute. Here's how I interpret them for Keep Trucking. And it goes through and it says culture. Keep Trucking fosters a culture that is encouraging, homey, motivating, and fun. It is a brand that keeps the spirit of joy and motivation alive, creating an atmosphere that feels like home and encourage both customers and employees. It gets it. It sees what we're trying to do, and it's refining that information, and it's taking the buzzwords and it's putting it into a structured thought process. Okay, so this is a great step all by itself, but look at what's next. From the information I supplied to you, I need to choose a set of 3 brand attributes. Remember the thing I showed you when I go back to my PDF document, core direction, 2 of 3, where I'm looking for this direction focuses on 3 attributes. And I got the 3 attributes and then the direction attributes. This is what I'm talking about. Now, I needed to explain this to chat-GPT in a way it could understand what I'm trying to accomplish. So this is what I'm doing here. From the information I supplied to you, I need to choose a set of 3 brand attributes with 1 direction attribute for each brand attribute from those supplied that go together in a unique an unexpected way. Select from the 6 brand attributes and direction attributes a set of 3 words or phrases that can be used to set the tone for a brand identity. The 3 will be the direction, focus of the brand. Does this request make sense? And ChatGPT responds, absolutely. It makes sense. You're asking for 3 key direction attributes, 1 from each of the 3 different brand attribute categories that will serve as the primary focus for the Keep Trucking brand, setting a unique and distinctive tone for its identity. Here are my selections. From culture, it chose the word fun. From voice, funny. From X factor, fosters positive relationships. So it's chosen 3 terms from different areas, and it's kind of created this base from which I can now move forward. This is really, really cool. So these 3 distinctions, or these 3 direction attributes, come together to paint a picture of a brand that doesn't take itself too seriously, hence fun and funny, but deeply values the connection it builds with its customers, fosters positive relationships. This could be a unique and engaging identity, setting Keeping Trucking apart as a brand that delivers joy and positivity through its products and interactions. Okay? Truly, this was awesome. So I asked it to give me 2 more, and it does. Set 1 is from customer, gift givers looking for a niche and funny gift. From impact, high quality soaps and candles. From X Factor, funny and goofy. This set emphasizes the brand as a go-to place for high quality humorous gifts that are perfect for those looking to give something distinctive and fun. And then set 2, from culture, motivating. From feel, move to action. From impact, a heartfelt story. This set underscores the brand's motivational culture that inspires action through products that carry heartfelt stories, making the brand resonate emotionally with customers. Okay, so what we've accomplished here is pretty remarkable. Obviously, I could have gone through and looked at the original list. That's here inside of our core attributes and said, I'll choose, and then kind of gone through and selected 3 of my own. That's totally reasonable, and that's actually the process I've done in the past. But what's neat with this is to choose 3 with a directive and allow someone other than me and my personal preferences to make a choice. In this case, I'm allowing the generative AI to look at all the words that are there to make a connection that's unique, and then to define why it made that connection and what it's doing with that connection, how it's valuable to me as a creative to move or direct where I'm going with things. This is really, really cool because it gives you a fresh insight, and it's based off of looking at all the information. This is one of the powerful ways that you can put ChatGPT to work for you. So this is the first that we're looking at, is we now have a direction of 3 different sets that we can use to create our style guides or our mood boards moving forward. So this is step 1 of the creative process of using generative AI in your creative process. Look forward to showing you next time how we can take the next step with generative AI. Hey guys, this is Brian Sykes again. For diving into the exciting world of generative AI art, I've released the book AI Explore Prompt Fundamentals, Book 1. So this current book offers an insightful journey through the fascinating field of text-to-image platforms such as Midjourney, DALL-E, and Stable Diffusion, with fresh content and a completely new perspective. This guide stands out as the first book everyone should have when it comes to prompting generative AI for image generation. And if a book is not what you're interested in, but you'd like a more hands-on walkthrough like these videos, I'm going to be releasing a video series that follows this same guideline and is going to give you even richer, in-depth skill sets related to prompting in Midjourney, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion. Thanks so much.